Valiant.
Oh, where did Josh go? Because he's about to say it's episode number 179 of Get Valiant, and that means it's a
big 179.
Boom. Oh, so big, his shit just blew up. So
I had to say it for him.
Yep. Oh man. Welcome to the jungle, dudes.
This happens to me like a lot now.
Good times. Sounds like fun.
How's everybody on the chat? Good to see you. We're live. Hopefully people are joining us. I think people might be excited about getting an X-O Manowar number 2 gold. I think it's the first time that's ever happened. So
yeah, first number 2 gold. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. Josh, did you get your pen and paper? You gonna do the old trusty hat again?
Apparently he can't hear us.
He can't hear us. I don't know what's going on. So I will write down some name and numbers real quick. Eric, introduce us on this episode, man.
What now?
What's going on? Tell us what's up.
I don't know what's up. What's up with you? We're talking about X-O Manowar number 2. That's what's up.
Yes, dude. We are talking about X-O Manowar number 2. Got a day off tomorrow, so I'm excited. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Or whatever you guys want to call your stuff. So just letting you guys know, get your name in that chat so we can get you in here live. We can see who you are, and we can get your name to be drawn out of the hat, old school style. And
really drawing names out of a hat so that somebody can
literally. I got Mayor of Governors on here. I'm going to do Handyman Homebrew now. I'm just going to call it Handy. Hopefully there's not more than one Handy guy here.
I mean, I'll take a Handy. Wait, what?
Handy? I mean, Thanksgiving Day comes to you. Oh, man.
Heyo.
All right. Brute Fitness, how you guys doing, man? Good to see you on here.
And you know Scott Bloom is here.
Wait, I didn't get Scott in there. I didn't get Scott. Oh, wait. No, he was the first one I put in here. So we're getting everybody's name in the chat. So make sure you put your name live in the chat, and we'll throw you down in there. The Mayor of Governors is Aaron. Okay, Aaron. Good luck. Todd Lewis. Got a good old Todd Lewis in here. And those that are live, maybe in Facebook, which it looks like some Facebook chats are going. If your Facebook chat's not going, please get onto YouTube. Get over into hoodootv.us. Get into the live chat on YouTube. That way we can pull your name there. So please run over to YouTube. That way we can get there. And I do see you, though, Scott or Todd. Sometimes people have to do something with StreamYard to make sure it's working. But X-O Manowar number 2, we finally got X-O Manowar back from March after not having him from a year before that. And yeah.
He disappeared we didn't have him for a long time. We got one issue, and then we didn't have X-O for a long time. So I'm pretty stoked to have a new X-O Manowar issue out. This is only number 2 of the series. I'm really curious to see exactly what Dennis Hallam has in store for the character. But yeah, we'll get into the issue. Do you guys want to just jump straight into the issue and talk about it, and then we can do the drawing?
Yeah. So, I mean, let's get on the roll call. Dennis Hopeless, Emilio Lasso doing art, Ruth Redmond doing colors, letter by Hassan Osman. I'm sorry, Hassan. And then Christian Ward killing it with covers. A bunch of cool covers in here. My favorite was that Daniel Warren Johnson that we have as our art for the thumbnail here. I dig Daniel Warren Johnson. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Now I can't think of the name of the artist that did the one that I loved.
There was one in issue number 1 that was close. That looks like Daniel Warren Johnson.
Oh, yes. That's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah. Then there's the one we used for the cover art today, which was that as well. So phenomenal.
Yeah, that Daniel Warren Johnson cover is a thing of beauty.
Yep. So what do you guys think about breaking tradition of having the X-O Gold on number 2 versus number 1?
Well, there's a precedent. I mean, we've had X-O Zero. We've had a Harbinger Renegades 5 that was a gold. So it hasn't always been the #1 issue, but it is very rare that Valiant does it like that.
There was a Harbinger Renegade 5? I thought that was also a 1 with
there's a gold for #1, but there's also one for #5.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
it's got a picture of a gunslinger like hanging.
Oh, it's yes. That one was the gold foil. So that wasn't necessarily the true gold fan. It was a variant incentive variant, but not like a gold go to the con where your Valiant shirt get a gold.
Oh yeah, it's more like one where you had to buy it. But I'm just saying, like, it still happened once, and also the Zero book, the under Robert Venditti had one.
Right, that's right. He did have that. He had 2 with X-O there, so I remember that.
There are some Zero golds. This is the first #2 gold, and I think it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, first time for anything. But to me, like, the thing that makes the most sense is they have to do whatever they can to build hype for this book. It's one thing to build hype for a #1. It's a totally unprecedented thing to be here, trying to hype up a #2 when #1 was however many months ago. Usually what happens is you get a #1 and then immediately following you get the #2 and the story continues. So we're in this unprecedented situation. So I think it calls for some drastic measures. And I think it makes a lot of sense to go ahead and give us a #2 gold, get people hyped up, get us talking about it, get people interested, do some giveaways. I know that they're talking about doing a giveaway on the Valiant Twitter and Facebook. So hopefully people are entering into that and getting a chance to win whatever they're giving away. I don't know if it's a gold book there or what the case is there. But Valiant is super nice and supportive of their fans. They were nice enough to come to us and say, we have one gold book for you guys. What do you want to do with it? And of course, our response is, let's give it away live on an episode, because we want to make sure that we're giving it to the fans. It doesn't make sense for one of the 3 of us to get the book when we can give it away.
We couldn't agree on visitation rights for the 1 issue between the 3 of us. We might as well just give it away to somebody, man.
That's right. And then we can come visit it at your house.
But yeah, I mean, I think about it, and it's cool. I'm glad that they did it. I'm glad that they're offering this way, being fans, somebody the chance to win it here. It's not as easy as going to the con, but we appreciate everybody jumping on, listening, and being here. We're just trying to build the Valiant community and get things some knowledge to the books. You know what? We talked about issue #1 so long ago, and I think I was talking about how when Arik got the deer and he was naked eating the deer. What that really reminded me of, and I don't know if you guys have watched the movie Beer Fest. With the guys who did Super Troopers. It's called Beer Fest.
Oh, years and years ago.
Yes,
there's the scene where the one dude is butt naked and he got so drunk and he wakes up in the morning naked next to a bloody deer and he's like, I did it again. And he's like, it's just totally reminding me of Beer Fest in that, with a naked Arik eating a deer out in the middle of the woods. I hope that there was some type of connection there. I doubt it, but it's where my head went. So
hilarious. But yeah, I think we can get into talking about issue #2. Unfortunately, for we've seen any other promo
all the
efforts.
store variants. So I think that was cool too. A ton of store variants. I remember seeing a really badass John Boy. I mean, I don't think I have to say badass when I say I saw a John Boy Myers, because most of his art is badass to begin with.
Redundant, yeah.
He did a store exclusive of this that was really cool. That caught my eye. I think it was a spread. So it was a spread open for a 2-page. So that was cool. But what about you guys? You guys see any other store variants for this one?
No, the only one I've seen is that same John Boy Myers one, and it's an awesome cover. It's got great colors to it also.
Yep.
And Valiant is also doing a giveaway, like I said before, on their Facebook, on their Twitter. So I think that they're doing what they can to try to drum up some interest in this. There's an interview in the back of the books with the editor, Heather, talking about the book.
We can talk about that later.
But
I do want to touch base on that later.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that this is. Let's talk about the issue. Let's get into it. We're gonna spoil it. Hopefully, everybody has already read it.
What we're gonna do? What?
We're gonna.
So those of you who may not join the show, we spoil the crap out of books. Isn't that right, Eric?
Yeah, that's.
And it's not a surprise that every once in a while Eric does get interrupted by that spoiler button. I don't know what happens. It just does not like him.
Well, every time I try to talk.
Yeah.
So we pick up the book with X-O was trying to quell a civil war in the Ukraine, and this crazy robot shows up, and X-O fights it, and then he has to chase it, and then it turns out that there's this, billionaire guy, suave, media smart, billionaire genius on a yacht out in the middle of the ocean. He offers to be X-O's PR guy, basically. X-O says no, tries to solve the problem in Ukraine on his own. It goes disastrously, and by the end of the issue, X-O realizes that he does need help. I think that this is going to blow up in his face, and I'm really interested to be there when it happens and see the fallout, because I think that this is going to be an interesting story.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm really curious to see where this goes with that, because it doesn't seem like he necessarily needs a guy like that. I was kind of interested in the fact that, like, Arik does kind of come full circle on it. He's like, yes, he's like, I was wrong. I need some help on this, which it just seems like I wouldn't know what his understanding of all that would be, given where he comes from and given what he's kind of been through. It just seems like we don't see enough of Arik engaging in that side of the world.
But he knows everything's a robot now, though. He knows everything's a robot.
Yeah, so, like, to me, it's just like, how much of this kind of stuff does he understand? Like, how much, I guess, like, to me is, how much does Sean Hara kind of put into his head that we don't see to help him understand things like that, Because, I mean, the armor is definitely smarter than he is. But, it's just one of those things. That's my thought on that. It's just like, how much of it does he even truly understand? Does he understand the ramifications of even needing something like that?
He just understands that, going in there and punching his way to a solution doesn't fix every problem. And that's what he was told was going to happen. And he tried to punch his way to a solution anyway, and it didn't work. It just didn't work. So, and I think that it makes sense, because Arik is kind of this, like, Conan-esque character who goes in and just tries to, like, find a solution through sheer willpower. And unfortunately, there's more nuance in the world than that. And, he needs help on that front. I don't know. All I can say is I'm really curious to see where this is going to go, because like Scott said in the comments, I think that he's going to screw X-O over somehow. I think that he's doing it for his own ends, and he's looking out for his own behind. So for some reason, he thinks that working with X-O is going to benefit him, and we just have to see exactly how that's going to play out.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was waiting, and here's my big surprise of the book, that it wasn't the mustache twirling. I'm going to tell you my whole plan right from the beginning. I thought that was going to happen. I thought we're going to get the villain. I was like, oh, great. Here it is. Here comes this monologue of, here's my big plan. And I was really proud and happy that it didn't do that from the beginning. So at least that was a win for this book. There was a section in this book that seemed interesting, and either saying, I don't know. I don't know if there was shadow on previous runs or a sliding of some sort, but it sounded interesting when this Whitaker basically tells him, are you going to come in and handle a civil war and take over the throne. I just saw that kind of as that. I'm not sure what other people, if they had seen that as well. But I don't think that's quite, good right now at this point to maybe be calling out the previous runs, or is it basically looking directly at Auric and what he's done before? I'm not sure on that. I think time will tell.
I think it's a little bit of both. It's just acknowledging that his instinct as a 4th century Visigoth is to beat people into submission and then rule over them. I mean, how long did he spend as a king of the Visigoths, right? And then he went to another planet, and what did he do? He ends up becoming the emperor there. So, I mean...
But this DB on a yacht knows all of that? He was there during the Visigoths? He was there in Gorin? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's kind of...
like, that was kind of the thing I thought of, too, after John and I talked about this, was just, how would anybody know, what's going on with Auric in either, in the past or when he was on this other planet, It did seem like kind of like some weird dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they necessarily have to know.
He's necessarily throwing any shade on anyone. I just thought that's kind of weird. How would he know anything about Auric, really?
Well, the world knows that Auric showed up and tried to take over Romania and create his own kingdom, and had to be brought to the U.S. and create a kingdom in Nebraska. The world knows that.
But it just
so
seemed like that dialogue kind of alluded to something a little deeper, either in his past or in the previous run that was written by Matt Kent.
Yeah, I mean, when he was in Romania, he was trying to take over his land. He wasn't trying to solve a civil war and kind of be,
He was like the cause of one.
Yeah,
but he was acting as a king, right? And so I think that it's fair to say anyone who knows about X-O knows that his instinct is to be the king and to take control and be a ruler. And so that's what this guy's saying to him. Do you really want to go be the king of another country just to solve their problems? Or are you the kind of guy who looks for a fight, does your best, and then looks for another fight? And that's who Auric is now. And that makes sense because he's not trying to be a king, right? He's trying to live a quiet life and help people where he can. Which I think makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it can be explained away either way, right? I think depending on how you want to do it. But in Gorin, when he talks about how it's all right and righteous this time, as in he knows about it in the past. I mean, Sean Swartz says it could be historical from the past reign. Possible, but he would never became the ruler during his Visigoth stage. He was set to rule, but wasn't there in the history lessons. But I guess it just goes bigger to who is this guy? What more does he know? What are we left to see? And how they do kind of, spoil. They partner. Seem to be that they're going to be partnering up at the end. So, yeah.
Man, I felt like the Troy Whitaker character was totally unlikable. I just don't like him at all. Maybe you're not supposed to, but I didn't.
Which character? The billionaire?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I hate him.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
I watched a segment.
He seems like a sleazy.
A segment of that Valiant voice, and he said that when he was thinking about this Troy Whitaker's voice, it was Matthew McConaughey's voice. So I was just I was trying to reread it with that in mind. I'm like, But
well,
that is really funny, and I think that makes perfect sense. In the worst way possible, right? I think of him as this total, I know everything. Yeah, I mean, he's just a rich boy, know-it-all. I have the solution to every problem because I'm the greatest there is.
Yeah,
and I hate him, and I think that he's, like we were saying before, I think he's taking advantage of X-O, and I think that's the direction that it's going to end up going. I'll be very, very surprised if it doesn't go in that direction.
Yeah,
yeah.
On another note, what do you guys think of the million-year-old Generation Z Sean Hara now?
I don't understand what the voice of the character is supposed to be.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I'm fairly critical of this issue. Okay, so I mean, I've been a little bit negative. I've already been a bit of a negative Nancy. I don't like Sean Hara's personality, where we just had a run where the character started talking, and I know that we have to evolve the character for each writer who gives a chance on the book. Okay, they get to have their own chance to give characters a voice and things like that. But if you were to tell me that like Sean Hara's voice would be like a nitpicky teenager who has access to every video game ever and all these kind of things, like I would just be like, that's not what I want to read, you know? Like I'm not interested in that take.
Or H&R Block.
But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I do feel like I'm definitely kind of nitpicky on this one because of that. Like that was one of the things. Like the first time I read this issue, that was like my first takeaway. I was like, I don't like what the personality is of Sean Hara. I'm just not into it. I wish it was something a little bit more mature. I feel like the character, like, because I would assume that Sean Hara is probably like hundreds of years old. You know, it's taken long stretches of time for anyone to ever go into the armor for her to bond with the armor or to bond with the wearer. So it just seems weird to me that like that's the personality.
Mm-hmm.
I think that she's plugged into all electronics. You know, she's kind of a little bit like Livewire, not exactly to that extent, but she's plugged into the internet. She's plugged into networks and she's learning. And I think that she's got a personality based on that. And to me, it makes sense. I guess, I mean, I see where you're coming from, but I just don't have the same feeling about it. I think that it makes sense. And I'm glad.
It just seems like what they do like in the Marvel movies where like Jarvis, Iron Man's AI of his armor, has like its own little personality. And they're like, we went along with that, but like younger and like wittier. And it just doesn't, I mean, I don't know. It might just be that like it's too unique an idea for me. Or maybe it's just I've read these books for too long, but it doesn't work for me. But it's just for me, you know. Like I mean, if it works for someone else, I'm glad they enjoy it.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. It does seem like that. And then there's this interesting approach of like you're getting your butt kicked, and it's like, well, Sean Hara, it's actually both of you, right? Aren't you like a living thing too? Yeah, like kicking our butt, my armor. I'm the one taking the blows. You're the one being protected by me. Do something. Whereas like you're making a dumb choice. So I don't know. There was some disconnect there for me on that, and yeah, I mean, and it's still early. It's still early to really overall judge it. I mean, it was definitely a different tone than what we're used to with both books that have came out with Venditti and with Kent. It's definitely. You know, and I was going to say save till the end for it, but when you read Heather Antos's kind of blurb in the back, it talks about it's, you know, a new armor, a new Sean Hara, but same Auric, right? And so that's what they were going for. So, I mean, it was validated within that blurb in the back. I don't know how much us Valiant fans that have been fans of those two runs really wanted that, or, you know, but so there is going to be some disconnect there.
Personally, it feels like a natural evolution to me. I don't feel like there's a big disconnect. I feel like Auric and Shin Hara's relationship has developed over time, and we're now at a point where, you know, their relationship is changing, and it's because their relationship is changing that they are still kind of feeling each other out. Shin Hara is just now becoming more vocal and more of a equal part of the relationship as opposed to being controlled by Auric, but she still doesn't want to be overbearing and tell him what to do because she knows that's not going to work well.
Which is, I could see that, Josh. I could see that.
Yeah, Josh is making a great point. Maybe Shin Hara only recently became self-aware and is kind of in an adolescent phase. I think that makes sense. But yeah, I think it makes sense on the face of it without even having to go that deep into it. But, you know, maybe I'm just too much of a I like everything, you know, homer. But I think that it makes sense the way that it's being done. I'm enjoying it. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if I hated everything Valiant does, I mean, what would be the point of even doing this? I think that they're giving us good content. I think they're giving us good
All I can say to
content. I think
all
that
I can
this
say to
is.
that is I really hope puberty hits in issue 3. You know, that's all I'm saying.
Oh my god, that's gonna. Yeah, I hope not. I don't know. I'd rather deal with a
The
tweener
ball's
than
gotta
a.
drop quick.
Rather deal
on
with
this
the
one.
rather deal with the tweenie than a puberty. So yeah.
I can't wait for that. I can't wait for that issue where Arik has to explain the birds and the bees to Shanhara. It's gonna be awesome.
Oh, because I mean, yeah, when he's flying in space, I don't know. It's kind of weird. So wasn't there an issue about him peeing in the suit?
That was Kent.
Yeah, that was in Kent's run.
Yeah.
Who knows what like craziness was gonna go on there too, you know.
Then you tie that back to Shanhara being an adolescent girl. Not cool.
I think we're taking this metaphor a little bit too seriously.
There are so many comments I'm just holding back saying just because I don't want to.
It's bad.
Because you know I'm just going to sit here and shake my head at you.
You would.
That's so wrong.
Okay, let's move on.
But I love the actual pencils in this. I think the pencils look really good. I think it's a good penciled book as far as all that's concerned. So,
yeah, I don't. Where did Emilio Lizo come from? Because I'm not familiar with his work prior to this. I think that the dude's got a lot of talent.
Yeah,
and it's just weird that like, where did he come from? Like, what else can I see that he's drawn?
This book is so dynamic visually. It's so kinetic. Like everything feels like it's moving. Like there's no boring panel to me. Even the scene where it's you know, him in the house in New York and with the mom and the kid and
with the man bun
tablet.
With the man bun.
The obligatory man bun, which Arik has always worn. It's not a new thing, so don't pretend it's
still a man bun.
You know, not every guy can pull that off. He pulls it off pretty well.
I think he does a decent job.
Who's gonna tell him, huh?
Yeah, who's gonna tell him that's out of fashion? But no, even those pages that were this quiet scene, you know, domestic scene, even those were super dynamic.
Hindsight, yes.
Oh man. But I think that the pencils are done really well. The colors are absolutely amazing. I feel like the art in this book is as solid as you could want it to be. I really like the style. It feels like that perfect balance of like, it feels like a comic book. It has little bits of cartoony feel to it that give it a little bit of an animation feel. And it also is just realistic enough where I don't feel like it's kiddie, you know? It feels like a perfect blend of like a teenager could read this and really get into the visuals, but it's also still serious enough on the visual side to where I don't feel like I'm reading a kid's book, you know? So I think that there's a really good balance there. The visuals are amazing. And I am enjoying the story. I know not everybody is, but I am enjoying the story as well.
Yeah, I totally agree with a lot of the sentiment about the art. You know, and to me, like I think the detail is just a little higher than a lot of artists out there that do just like straight superhero books. And so I'm really digging that. I like that. I like his faces. Like his faces seem to stand out a lot too. Like their expressions. It's not just the same face everybody makes. So I'm liking that. Ruth Redmond's colors work really well there. A couple of the backgrounds look a little weird. John knows what I'm talking about now. Like there's just a lot of, what was the color you said it was?
I think baby shit green.
A lot of that. And one thing that I don't know, like who's like, I don't know if it's like a fault thing or if it's just like I mean, I'm sure this was just a judgment call where they're like, that's what we think looks good. But like sound effects, onomatopoeia, in this book, they all look incomplete. Like they look like they started them and then they're just like, well, we're done. They're not really finished looking, you know, like to me, like they just look weird and they don't look they don't look complete.
Yeah, there
I
was
guess I
one
didn't
where,
feel that. I didn't get that impression reading this. It
can you see this one where it looks like when he's back on the boat, it just looks, yeah. I don't know. I get what you're saying, Josh. I can see what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah, this was easily the most nitpicky I've felt about a Valiant book in a really long time. I mean, I still liked it. It was just a hair above like average, but mostly because of the art. I mean, I really do like what Lizo's doing with the pencil work, but I had some problems with it.
To me, like, this isn't a perfect book. It's not perfect. It's not my favorite thing that Valiant has done. It's not my favorite X-O story even so far. You know, I do think it's better than the Kint run already, but I'm not a huge fan of the Kint run personally. I don't think that's bad either, but it's not my style. It's not my taste. So I think that this is better than that. To me, we've got art that is, I mean, this art is a 4.7, 5 out of 5 any day of the week for me. The story, maybe not quite up there, but it's still solid, right? So even if you go low on the score on the story and give it a 3.5, 3.75, you still end up in that 4 to 4.25 range, averaging it out. And I think that that's reasonable. I would give this book a very, very, very solid 4 out of 5. I do think that it is a good book. I know I'm probably going to be the highest scoring on it, but that's okay to me.
But that's okay. I mean, that's what makes it good. You know, like we can all have a difference of opinion.
Right.
I'm going to go a bit lower, man. For me, this is like a 3 out of 5. You know, and the one thing I'm really, really hoping with this issue, because it's been a long time since we reviewed the first issue. I actually really liked the first issue. You know, I just thought that this one was kind of a drop off. But I'm just hoping that this is an issue where I've read it like 3 times. I just didn't like it that much. I'm hoping it's just one of those like blips where it's like, okay, I didn't love it. I didn't think it was great, but I'm still looking forward to issue 3. And hopefully that's the issue that puts me back on track with this.
Yeah. It's like I say, it's still early. It's issue number 2. The things that I don't like about it are and doesn't mean that what I say goes, right? That's definitely not the truth. But I'm not enjoying the kind of the character change of Shanhara, the kind of future setting up of new powers that are to be there. It seems, I don't know, like I said, it seems disconnected from the continuity. But that's my opinion from what I see only in 2 issues. There's a lot to be done with it. I do think that Dennis does do a lot of just the dialogue really well. So I do think that his writing definitely keeps you engaged in what's going on. So I appreciate that. He does do dialogue really well. And
his characters do sound different.
They do sound different. They do sound different. And he has his own voices for him. And, that's part of reading comics. It's part of reading anything is that you have to trust the reader to hear the voice. And what we had previous runs, maybe the voice was different in his head than it was for us. It's all on the different experiences and whatnot that people have. So, I mean, but we'll see what happens with the story. We'll see what happens with this Whitaker, and maybe the younger generational Shanhara will grow on us. And but yeah, I enjoy the art. I think the art is great. There were some background images with the color that were off, but ultimately, I think Ruth did a really good job with colors. There's just a few panels that, like I said, the background I didn't enjoy, but that's easy. That's just being nitpicky there. And but ultimately, with where the story is, I would be sitting at about a 3 right now. Be sitting at a 3 right now with the story and art. So Eric's surprised because he thinks everybody has to love it because he does.
You need to feel the exact same way that I do.
I'm just kidding.
That's Eric for you. He's always pushing his views on us.
He's always got to be right. No. Yeah, but I think it's really an interesting aspect of of this book. It is a change. It is going to be something different, and that's just the way a lot of books are. And you can't quite always do that. I mean, I'm a fan of Batman. I'm a fan of Adam West, right? And those are two different Batmans. And so I think sometimes you have to be willing to kind of separate that. So the dark Batman to the 66 Batman are different. And so I think sometimes you have to be willing to kind of take a little bit of a different approach from time to time. So,
well, I think that brings up a great point, because I can't think of like too many books where I like a straight 80 issues of it. Like I don't like a straight 80 issues of Walking Dead or Invincible, and I liked Invincible a lot, but there's still issues in there that weren't great. It's bound to happen, I mean, and I think I think Invincible, we just don't have a high enough volume of back issues, with any of these characters really since 2012, and because of that, sometimes when you get a bad issue, you're just like, oh great, like, how many more are we going to have? We don't know when we're going to get another chance of these characters and things like that,
Yep.
I think that, first off, I think Invincible is a bad example because I don't know that there were any bad issues of that. But I think part of the issue that we're running into right now is that we're getting so few issues from Valiant, so few comics from Valiant, that we're just laser focused on every single detail. We don't have 2 books to review on an episode. We've got 1 book to review for a couple of weeks, so we put that much more focus into each issue, and every little detail stands out. Sean didn't enjoy the story. I think that he would agree with us that the art was good, but the story wasn't good enough. And Todd wants to understand where they're going with his favorite character. Totally understandable. I just don't think that 2 issues in, we're going to know where they're going, right? Robert chiming in saying that Dennis does his best with longer form stories. I think that if we can hold on and we get a 4-issue arc and 3 arcs down, right, to give him a chance to actually show us where he's going and what the intentions are, what's being set up. Because remember, Venditti's arc is so great, or Venditti's run is so great because it's this massive 50-plus issue epic that sets the stage from issue 1 forward and builds on itself from issue to issue, from arc to arc. We got to give a chance.
Didn't have a playoff either. I mean,
right? He didn't have a pandemic after issue 1.
We were looking at a long time because of the pandemic, and I think, by right now we should have been on issue 7 or 8 with this book.
Yeah, I mean, we should definitely be much further along. We should be a couple arcs in. We would have a very good idea of
hopefully we a couple arcs, not a couple arcs. Hopefully, there's one arc.
Yeah. 1 arc.
1 arc. Same old arc.
Different Sean Hara. I think that, again, we're seeing a natural evolution of the character, and I think that over time, we'll get an idea. And not everybody's going to love it, right? But I'm glad that I'm really enjoying this story so far.
Well, I'm glad you are too. I mean, that's good. I'm glad you are too. I think that's good. And I want this book to be successful. I want it to do well. I want this to be like, I think Todd, to understand where they're going with his favorite character, one of my favorite characters, the cornerstone of Valiant Universe, one of the tent poles. I think it is an important book and in the success of the comic company. So,
it's one of the flagships for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a very important character, and I think that they're taking it seriously. They're just not going to be able to please everybody. You can never make everybody happy, but I think they're doing a good job of it so far, and that's my personal opinion, and I definitely respect that other people have different opinions than me. But we've had several people in the chat. Are we ready to move forward with giving away some gold?
So who's going to do the drawing?
I've been writing some names here, and I'm going to give somebody a little bit more time. Make sure they write their name, they write their information in the comments, so we can old school put your name in the hat, and pick who you are.
And Sean Hayes can win again.
I got some Brute Fitness. I got Sean Hayes. I got Mayor of Governors. I got Scott Bloom. I got J.R. Schwartz. Good to see that guy on here. Sean Hayes, good to see you. Todd Lewis. Handyman something. Handyman Homebrew Network. Ooh, I like that. I need to do that. I need to brew some more beer too. And Brute Fitness. I got Robert Myers in there. I don't know, Robert. If you want to get in on this, you let me know. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know. I'm sure you got connections still, but we can do it if you need. If there's anybody else in the chat wants to get in,
get his hands on a gold.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm just really glad. I'm really glad that Valiant has given us an opportunity to give away a gold issue. You know, gold issues are always fun to have. They're always fun to collect. And it's awesome that somebody's going to get one for free just for, you know, watching our episode and hanging out with us and talking about X-O Manowar. You know, that's all we really want to do is hang out and talk about comic books. So the fact that other people hanging out with us and talking about comic books means they can have a chance to win something is pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm way jealous of whoever gets it. I still don't have a copy. I have no idea how I'm going to get a copy. And
if you want to celebrate the show.
So I'm just like, holding out for hope one day, getting one myself.
Yeah.
COVID will be over one day. So
I'll probably be over first, but, you know, we'll see.
Just don't get the vid. You'll be fine. Make sure you get tested before you go hang out with family. I wonder if Sean Hara is immune.
Sean Hara is immune because Sean Hara is
grow a hand and she can absorb piss. So, I mean, I think she's safe from the COVID.
That's it.
She's a piss drinker.
She's a drinker. Oh, that's good. She can absorb piss. Yeah, yes, she can. She's a fantastic person.
How come nobody says anything when Iron Man pees in his suit?
I don't read Iron Man.
But X-O does the exact same thing, and it's this huge problem.
I assume it's just because he's a filthy savage. You know, he doesn't know any better.
Well, and it's actually literally, it's not an actual thing. It's not an actual living being something.
I mean,
yeah.
How far removed are we from the time when he got like a hard-on over like running water? I mean, come on, man. I mean,
he didn't get a hard-on, but he was pretty friggin' excited. He did leave the water running all night. I remember that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just say it was a big day in his life, man.
Running water.
Well, I got some names here. If you didn't hear my name earlier, I am going to pull it. Gonna pull it. I mean,
pull it out.
Speaking of it, gonna pull it out of this, and the bald head's coming out. Love it. It's beautiful. Bald is beautiful. No man bun here. Eric has a man bun down below, and
his party's in the front.
Party's in the front.
You know what I did realize recently? My beard is long enough to braid now. So
nice. You would look like. Are you going to dress up as Haggard for next Halloween? Haggard? No. Okay.
Wait, did you say Haggard or Hagar?
I said Haggard at first, but
like
he's kind of Haggard. He's kind of Haggard.
That works better than Hagrid. Come on.
Yeah. So shiny.
Well,
okay.
Your drink looks like it's like a laser, Eric.
Laser. All right. Everybody ready? Everybody ready? Whoa.
Let's do this.
I had one just come out. Should I pull the one that just jumped out or no?
That's your call, man.
It kind of just jumped out. I don't know who it is. That's what we're going with.
Sean Hayes.
Mayor of Governors.
Oh.
Nagy.
Aaron. Isn't Aaron got a special connection to Arik?
What? Yes, his son is named Arik.
His son, yeah.
His son is newborn. Is named Arik Adacia. So X-O gold for that guy, which is cool. I think he won the Quantum and Woody Christopher Hastings poster. So good on that. So way to go.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Red draw.
Big
redraw.
thanks to everybody at Valiant for letting us do this, especially to Greg Katzman, who he always reaches out. He's always like, "You guys want to give something away?" So thanks to him for making a comment. Hey, you guys want to give away a gold book? We love to give stuff away. We love to give something back to the people who watch. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll always try to do this stuff for you.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe we could ask for something maybe similar when we could ask for it when we get to episode 200, and 200. And if we can get this channel up on its subscribers, I think that would be another thing where we might be able to ask for a little bit of something. And they've always been so kind and nice to us. So keep on pushing for us, guys, and share, like, do all that fun stuff. So
yeah, like the video, subscribe, share it around, and tune in when we go live. If you hit the bell, you'll get notifications when we go live, and you'll be able to join in the conversation. Obviously, it's great when we can give things away, but even on the episodes when we don't give things away, we have really good, fun conversations about the Valiant books that are coming out, any news that's going on. So it's always a good time to, for you to join in and have your voice heard. We do know that, the people from Valiant really like hearing what the Valiant fans have to say. So, from time to time, people from Valiant will tune in and listen to, what we're saying as fans, but also what you're saying as fans. So if you want to have your voice heard and be part of the conversation, please feel free to, come and hang out with us, talk about Valiant Comics, and, let us know what you enjoyed, what you didn't enjoy. I'm here talking about how great X-O Manowar #2 is and loving it and giving it a solid score and a really high score. And, the other guys aren't enjoying it quite as much as I am. And we've got people in the chat who are giving it a 1 out of 5. So, there's everywhere on the spectrum, your opinion is valid. And we definitely want to have everybody be involved in the conversation. If you're, a fan of Valiant and want to be part of it, join us. We're happy to have you.
Did you just say our listeners, our viewers are on the spectrum? Well, it's not nice, Eric. If you are, we still love you.
Are you saying that that's an insult? Because that's not nice.
It's not. I think it's great, and we love you. So, Retribution coming out in a week.
We're not a echo chamber. We all have different opinions, and if you've got a different opinion than us, let us know, man. It's cool. We're not gonna get mad at you.
Nope.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody mad at you. Rye number 10, December 16th is the next time there's a new book out. Then we got December 23rd, X-O Manowar #3. Those are the next 2 books for the remainder of the year, outside of a couple hardcovers and trades and a reprint of X-O Manowar Retribution. So
that Dr. Tomorrow trade paperback is coming out on December 16th. That book was so good. I definitely recommend.
I really want that to come out in something more like a Faith, the first part of Faith, or the first Divinity, or the Valiant, that hardcover. I think those were good little hardcovers. $20, I believe. Pay 10 more bucks and get a nice hardcover to put on the shelf. I thought that was a good deal.
Yeah, I think if you could do a hardcover with the Dr. Tomorrow run with, like process art and a cover gallery and some interviews with Alejandro Arbona and Jim Toe, and I think that you could make some great content there. So I definitely would be on board with a hardcover for that.
Yeah, dude, I dig that series, and I'm ready for the second wave to come out. I'm not saying that because Robert Myers is in here and he wants to buy that book. He was part of editing that, but we did appreciate that. I think that was one of those ones we unanimously did. So, yeah,
Robert Myers, great guy, by the way. Really cool to talk to. He's been on the show before, so he's been awesome. And I think
if you're really into food porn, follow him on like Instagram or something. He posts some amazing pictures of food. Like it's awesome. So
I'm not on the gram, so I wasn't aware of that. But
jump on it. Get on it.
Jump on it. But yeah, I think that the whole team that was involved with Dr. Tomorrow really had a hit on their hands, and I just can only hope that it can be recreated.
Absolutely.
I hope we can get a second series, a second run.
I know Eric talked about this. I want to show it real quick. Show it real quick. Show it. Make sure you do those things, please. We'd appreciate it.
Very cool.
Yeah. What were you saying, Josh, before you got that?
I was just going to say, the only way I don't want Valiant to make a hardcover first 5 issues is if they're going to do another series where we can get a bigger hardcover because we're going to have more content,
Well, that is true, because I have that Divinity one, and then they ended up doing the trilogy. And they could have done that with Britannia, but they ended up doing all 3 Britannias. So I agree. If it comes up like that, I'd rather have a good couple volume arc book than just have a single arc hardcover. So very good point. Very good point.
You could do what they did with Divinity, right? Because didn't Divinity, the first volume of Divinity, get a hardcover, and then they did a hardcover with the whole 3 arc run?
He just did not listen to a word I said right like 3 minutes before. It's like I'm talking to myself here.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to read YouTube comments on my phone.
But yeah, they did do that with Divinity. That's what we were saying. They came out with the Trinity. They could have done it with Britannia. They didn't. They did the trilogy of that.
Well, I'm glad I was able to remember that and remind you of it.
I appreciate that. Only if I would have thought of that.
I don't think you could have possibly come up with that on your own without my help.
Well, I mean, you hear me listening to Eric and respecting his point of view, but obviously mine means shit.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
No, it's good, but no, that's kind of the point. So, but yeah, we could ramble on and on. And then looking forward to that, like going to Todd Lewis, looking forward to that Shadow Man run. There are some things exciting with what do we got? We got a couple of things coming around the corner. Shadow Man in April, February we have Savage. Got Bloodshot returning in January. And something coming in March. We'll see what March has to hold. I'm hoping they finish up The Visitor and that could connect to something bigger in the world. Because the only way I could explain anything of it being off the shelf for those last 2 issues. So crossing my fingers and wishing for luck.
Little Birdie did say that The Visitor is going to come back. Obviously, we don't know when that's going to be. And I don't know that anybody knows when that's going to be other than the fun. You motherfucker.
Told you that thing just jumps out at you.
We were told it would come back, and you know what? No one would make liars of us. So,
yep.
Oh man. Well, I want to say thank you to everybody who participated in the conversation tonight, who got in on the drawing. Congratulations to Aaron for winning it. Get at us with your information so that we can get it out, get Valiant to ship it out to you. Because that makes a lot more sense than them shipping it to us and us shipping it to you.
We never mind doing that either.
Yeah, shoot me a message, Aaron.
Yeah, get in touch with Hooser. Yeah, thanks everybody for joining us for this conversation. And like I rambled about a little bit earlier, definitely want to have people be a part of the conversation moving forward as we talk about Rye and Bloodshot and all the rest of the books that are coming when Savage hits and when Shadow Man hits. We're all going to be excited and want to have as many voices heard in that conversation as possible. So thanks again for everybody watching, listening, and participating with us in this conversation. We will see you guys all next time. Signing off, I am Eric Baumgart.
I'm Josh Rathbun.
And I'm just Hooser.
And we will see you guys next time. Stay valiant.